friends. Today we're going to talk about an alternate area formula for the area of triangles that uses the sine function. So we're going to start with what we already know to be the formula for the area of a triangle, and that is 1/2 base times height, or sometimes it's written as base times height divided by 2, but those are the same things. Okay, but in order to make that work, we have to know both our base and our height. And generally, most specifically, our height can be harder to find. Okay, so if we look at the triangle that I've drawn over here to the left, the height is this right here, and the base and the height must be perpendicular to each other. Otherwise, it's not the height, it's something else. So A is not the height, C is not the height. The height is this altitude, the length of the altitude, this perpendicular line that I've drawn to the base. And oftentimes we don't know what that is, which can be frustrating. And instead we know our 3 side lengths. Okay, and so now that we know trig, we can use that to find the area. So if we want to find the height, we can do that using some trigonometry. So if I find sine, let's say I'm going to write the sine of A. I know that the sine of A is going to be the opposite, which is h, over the hypotenuse, which is c. And then if I just want to solve for h is going to be c times sine A. So we can put that in right there. And so our new area formula is the area is 1/2 BC times the sine of angle A. Okay, and this more generally can be written, because we don't have to use B, C, and A. We can use any combination of sides and angles. Really what the formula is half a side times another side times the sine of the included angle. Okay, so 1/2 a side, pick 2 sides, and as long as you know the included angle, you take the sine of that. So we could also write it as 1/2 AB sine C, or 1/2 AC sine B. Those are all the same. It's just the 2 sides and their included angle. Okay, so if we were going to do an example of this, and let's say that this was 16, this was 22, and this was 20, and I knew that this angle right here had a measurement of, let's say 38 degrees. If I wanted to find the area of this triangle, I would do 1/2, and I have all 3 sides, so I have to pick 2, and I have to pick the 2 that have this angle included. So that's these 2 sides. So I don't want to use the opposite angle over here. That's not going to help me. So I'm going to have 1/2 my first side times my second side times the sine of the included angle. And I can plug all of that into my calculator at one time. For 1/2, you could just put in 0.5. That would be a really easy way to use that in a calculator. So 0.5 times 22 times 20 times the sine of 38, and the area is 135.4-ish units squared. So if you were going to give units, you would use whatever those were squared, but I didn't give any. Okay, that's all this formula is you just multiply the 2 sides times the sine of the included angle divided by 2, and you have your area.